Hello again, Porsche fans. Today we have another nice model made by FuelMe. FuelMe is a premium brand. They make resin models, not die cast, so it's a plastic model with high detail and it's not gonna roll. Okay, let's take a look at this guy. This car is almost impossible to find information on. This is a case where you name a company old and new. It's such a generic search term, old and new Porsche. That's what I looked up. Old and new Porsche, old and new tuning, old and new. I tried a bunch of different searches. I could not find any information on this company. So nice little card here, but I can't. I have no idea what that company is about, where they're from, how old long they've been around. Well, I guess they've been around since 2017 because this car was shown at the SEMA show, the Specialty Equipment Manufacturers Association in Las Vegas. That's the show. You have to be part of the industry, but if you like cars, you want to go to that show at least once in your lifetime and spend 3 days there as well. Okay. This thing is probably taped together, yes. So what we have is a modern Porsche 997 with a slant nose in homage to the older, I think it was the 1970s Porsche 935s that had some slant nose conversions. And I don't have that in 164. I think Kyosho may have made one, but it's too expensive on eBay. So it'd be really cool if a new modern brand like, say, Mini GT or Para 64 made that, because they make Porsches already right now. Or obviously, a premium brand even higher than those guys. Anno 64 makes Porsches as well. Alright, so anyways, that side view is pretty good. I did find one article on this car, but barely talked about it. These wheels are called RVL EVA wheels. I think the brand might be RVL, Rebel maybe. And then that's the only photo I could find with the full rear view. So I apologize if that woman is distracting, but, well, that's effective marketing. Let's leave it at that. So this thing has a nameplate, or placard, or badge, or whatever you want to call this thing. Is photo etched metal. So they etch away the metal to have this three-dimensionality to it. So this is the tuning firm, Old and New, of which has no website or even social media from what I could see. And then, yeah, this is called the Martini Shot, which is, in Hollywood terms, I think it's the last shot of the day. So I don't know why they would call this car that. And then it looks like there's around 500 of this livery. Maybe this company's out of business, and that's why I couldn't find info on them. But no, that makes no sense. This model is relatively new. FuelMe makes, I think, licensed models. So, well, it's a mystery, guys. If you guys know better, please leave a comment. Boy, I could take this off the stand, but honestly, there's nothing to look at on the bottom of these things. There's no text, there's barely any details, so I guess I'm just going to leave it on here, because I don't want to get my fingerprints all over the thing. Let me try to get a better light angle. Sorry, I was painting other things. Oh, no, that's just random black junk. So the base itself is acrylic, and it's, you can tell that by this glue. That's acrylic glue. It fuses two pieces together. And so I think this is probably like laser cut, and then they actually polish the edges. Or cut with a saw, but polishes the edges. I mean, they're crystal clear. It's crazy how clear this base is. Alright, just looking it over quickly with my own eyes. It's obviously white, but it's not metallic from what I can see. I think it's just a plain white. It's weird to put a white car on a white base. I don't know why they would choose to do that. Acrylic comes in all sorts of colors. It would be nice if this base was gray, or even black, so this would have better contrast. Okay, anyways, let's go to the wheels here. I'm going to zoom in here. Zoom in on the front one. Alright. Those spokes are so thin, you can see a cross-drilled brake behind it. And I think there's a caliper closer to the door. On the rear, I think the caliper again might be closer to the door. But you'll see that it's like a candy red wheel. I have a suspicion the wheel might be painted silver, or it's a photo. Well, I think the spokes might be photo etched metal because they're just so thin. But then I think they shot it with some translucent red clear coat. That's what I'm guessing. It's. It looks like candy apple. It looks like the red coating of a candy apple, right? It's so thick, this clear redness. It's pretty interesting. But then they must have like a center cap glued into that middle of that photo etch spoke system there. And this is a note for you guys. I got this locally at a store, and they had like 6 of them. I looked at all of them. All of them have a flat spot here. So Fielmy has decided to actually cut off part of the tire in order to sink this tire below the fender as much as they could. They didn't do it on the front. Oh, the front also I think is flatted out right there. It's flat. It's cut off. And so I think they had to do that because there's going to be thickness of the resin. But if you look back to that photograph, look how sunk those wheels are. I mean, they're extremely sunk with extreme camber. So I'm curious if this model actually has camber. That would have been a way they could have helped out. Alright, so unfortunately the stripe here of this Martini livery is a decal. I can just see that's a decal. Hopefully it won't peel off in the future. Same with the sponsorship on the door. You can see kind of that clear plastic around that M. That's what tells you it's a decal. The door handle is alright. It's just so clear coated, the little depression for the lock kind of vanishes, but it's nice. A nice smooth paint finish here. The decals are on top of the paint. The super thin sheet plastic windows with the, I'm thinking this is a photo etched metal frame painted black because I think a little bit of the metal is peeking through right there where it was probably taken off the sprue. Alright, and then these mirrors would have a shiny reflective sticker on them. Alright, so the decal is well applied to the front end. Considering how they terminate into such thin points, I think it's pretty good. Yeah, the tires do have tread, but I'm not going to take it off the stand as I mentioned. And then there's a vent here. The real car seems to have it, and I think there's a separate piece of plastic. Yeah, it sounds like it's plastic. So that's nice. And then this looks like a separate piece as well. I think this is like an LED array. Yeah, look, it looks like there's like 5 LEDs back there. That's kind of cool. And then this literally is a light, a shiny chrome light back there, but there's a clear plastic panel in front of it with a white border. I don't know if that border is a photo etched piece of metal, but I do feel a lip right there. Naturally this gap looks unsightly here, but to the naked eye, well, no, now that I look at it with my own eyes, it is quite noticeable. On this side it's not so bad, barely noticeable, but this side, yeah. So that's too bad. Again, right now we're at 4 times magnification. So this black recess here is just perfectly smooth, and then you can see again this decal of the red chin spoiler, and I think there's like an air pocket there. So that's too bad. That's also why I don't like decals. Alright, let me back out a little bit. So the windshield has some photo etched metal wiper blades on it, and they're probably bent 90 degrees perpendicular. Yeah, I think the blades are actually bent against, like real wiper blades, so that's nice. There's a Spider logo. I don't know what Spider that is, though. I'm sure it's automotive related. Alright. Going to the back, we have the nice translucent taillights, and I'm going to have to assume there's a chrome light bucket back behind them. I can see some lines. Let me get a flashlight and see what happens. Well, alright. Yeah, there's something going on behind it. But it's kind of a cloudy taillight for it to mask that so much. So we have this old and new logo here in the rear quarter. Alright. And then like the real photograph, this thing has gold-plated exhaust tips. I don't recall seeing that on a normal car. You know, I've seen it on lowriders, but it's one of the last things I would expect on a modern Porsche. But it's kind of interesting. It's an interesting contrast to the white. So now we have a license plate, and it's got a decal of this L. So I don't know what this decal means. Something MW, something motor relax. I don't know. Please leave a comment. I feel like I've seen this logo before, but I have no clue what it is. Wow. This is a realistic license plate. These letters are raised as if it was a stamped piece of aluminum, like a real license plate. That takes the prize for most realistic license plate in my collection now. I mean, I've seen a lot with nice graphics, but I don't think I've ever seen a license plate with actual raised letters like it was stamped. Very impressive. Very much like that logo. Impressive wrap. Okay. So the rear wing, no complaints there. I mean, look at this clear coat. It's just nice. Unfortunately, there's no black here. There is, black vents here. And for a model from Fuel Me, I kind of expect to see some printed black there. But maybe that's just too hard to do. I don't know. Seems kind of weak, actually. Okay, well here, in front of that rear engine cover is this little inserted piece, I think, of a texture. Yeah, that's nice. Super thin, and then it's got some defroster lines, and then also the molding is on top of that. Some rain gutters molded into the body. Very clear, nice clear coat. Look at the reflection of the pick and how smooth the edge is. So there's really not much orange peel, if any. Down here, it gets a little, well, it's not bad. Yeah, it's still pretty good on the front hood. So if paint is your thing, this brand is doing a pretty good job with their paint apps. So on this side of the car, you'll notice the wheels have changed to blue. So again, they look like they're translucent, like the clear coat itself is blue, and you can see the brake calipers through them, so that's pretty nice. Alright, so you can see some tiny little rivet marks or whatever to hold the over fenders on there. And then I'm gonna guess that's the fuel filler. As to why it has 4 rivet holes or screw holes, I don't know. It's weird. This little side mirror even has this depression here, like a real Porsche mirror. It's kind of nice. So sadly, the interior is black. You can see the dashboard's got nice details. So as always, the challenge is, can I get the flashlight to actually shine through those windows? It's really hard to do. It's such a shallow window. I have a hard time actually getting that flashlight to shine through that side window. I'm seeing a shifter. I can't. There we go. That's as far in as I can go. There's a center console in the rear seat area. Yeah, that shifter is just sticking up. Now let's see. The steering wheel. Well, it's just black, but you can see some instrument gauges there. Yeah, so there's probably a decal on the instrument cluster. Looks pretty nice. White faces there. There's something on the center of the top dashboard. I don't know if that's an additional gauge. And it looks like I can see black and white there. Like 2 white lines vertically, and then a circle to the left of it. So one would have to assume that's like a decal as well. Fortunately, there's a big glue drop right there on the rear seat center console. See that shiny puddle there? So that's kind of not cool. Let's try this side. I'm literally holding this flashlight next to the window, so I don't understand how I can't get light in there. It's really strange. I mean, you can see what I'm doing, right? But it's really hard. Alright, so see, it has standard texture. Okay, there's a lot of like buttons and switches on that center console. That's pretty nice. I can't tell if they're molded or like a decal though. Can't figure that out. There is a passenger seat there. I wonder if there's some sort of harnesses. No harnesses that I can see, just regular seat backs. Get a different angle. I'm pretty sure there must be a rear view mirror on something like this. And there it is. But what is on that rear view mirror? Right, it's got a weird graphic on it. Like, oh, I see. That's literally the spider. That's the Y on the windshield banner. So that rear view mirror is reflective on both sides. It's a straight up mirror. So it's probably like a piece of stainless steel or something. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess we're not going to see the rear seats. No. Okay. So again, as usual, I don't like black interiors because how difficult was that? That was really difficult. I will never see that interior again because I don't hold flashlights up to my models after I review them. Alright, well, let's get this thing spinning and compare it to a couple other models. Okay, let's see. I have a Kyosho. It's a 911 GT3R hybrid from 2010, I believe. This car was running around. That's a Kyosho blister pack model. It's really good for the price, whatever it cost new. I'm guessing less than $10. And then a relatively recent release is by Inno64. It's a 997 with a Liberty Walk kit. And I repainted the wheels blue because I think it came with black wheels. I also repainted the interior sky blue, I think. I can't remember. I reviewed these things if you want to check the history of them. I cannot remember everything I do. So, these are much less expensive by exponential factors. The Inno is probably like half as much. The Kyosho, if you go by original price, maybe a quarter or maybe even 20% as much. So what I'm getting at is the value of Fuel Me models. It's not looking so hot on this one, at least. The details are definitely, they seem like they're tighter. I don't know, if you go back and pause the video, what looks like a tighter model to you? I feel like the sheet windows is obviously a big difference. The reflective mirror as well. Inno64 also has reflective mirrors, so that's not an advantage. Inno64s also have brake systems. Granted, the wheels on this, I'm pretty sure, are photo etched metal, and then also the fact that there's two different color wheels. There's a thin piece of plastic in front of those front headlights, but the interior, I mean, well, alright, the show car probably has a black interior, so I guess I have to let that go. I guess the question is, will Fuel Me come out with this in a different livery, just like one of their own liveries? And hopefully if they do, they'll have like a brown interior or like a blue interior, something that you can actually see the molded details with. That would be nice. Granted, I won't buy it. Try to stick to one casting, especially when they cost this much. Alright, well guys, I appreciate it. If, well, tell me if you think you're going to pick this one up. I think it's nice, that's for sure. It's my first Porsche 911 slant nose. I'm quite surprised it's taken this long for me to get one, but again, it seems to be a big pocket of opportunity for someone to make an inexpensive slant nose, preferably of the classic 911s. But even a modern 911 slant nose like this would be nice to see from another brand. Alright, well, in the conclusion though, I would say Fuel Me has not let me down again. There's no quality control problems at all. Everything looks immaculate, and the paint on this just I think it's polished. It's so smooth, that I think it might actually be polished after it's painted. Or they have some really good painters. I've painted a lot of models and they never come out smooth. I am not good at painting. So that's why I like to buy models instead of make models. But I will have to make models if no such castings exist, Pre-painted, that is. Alright, I'm rambling on. I'll see you in the next Porsche review, guys. Thanks for checking this out. See ya.